Hi, I'm Ed Sakota. In response to numerous requests over the years to reveal the inner workings of my trend trading system, I hereby take great pleasure in presenting its essential elements for your financial edification. Joining me today are several members from the Northern Nevada Bluegrass Association. We gather to play benefits for local area hospitals. If you are currently in a clinic as a recovering marketaholic, or even if you have a mild case of marketitis, this tune might put you on the road to recovery. In any event, pull up a chair, lean into your monitor, and lend us an ear. We hope that you enjoy the show. You get a whipping, I get a saw, honey. You get a whipping, I get a saw, baby. You get a whipping, I get a saw. One good trend pays for 'em all, honey trader, baby mine. Now what do we do when we catch a trend, honey? What do we do when we catch a trend, baby? Well, what do we do when we catch a trend? We ride that trend right to the end, honey trader, baby mine. So you get a whipping, I get a saw, honey. You get a whipping, I get a saw, baby. You get a whipping, I get a saw. One good trend pays for 'em all, honey trader, baby mine.
Well, what do we do when we show a loss, honey? What do we do when we show a loss, babe? What do we do when we show a loss? We give that daggone loss a toss, honey, baby mine.
Well, you get a whipping, I get a saw, honey. You get a whipping, I get a saw, baby. You get a whipping, I get a saw. One good trend pays for 'em all, honey trader, baby mine.
Money and we sleep at night, honey, baby mine. So
you get a whipping, I'll get a saw, honey. You get a whipping, I'll get a saw, baby. You get a whipping, I'll get a saw. One good trend pays for 'em all, honey trader, baby mine.
Well, what do we do when the price breaks through, honey? What do we do when the price breaks through, baby? What do we do when the price breaks through? Our sauce or Renzo's nothing to do, honey, baby mine.
So you get a whipping, I'll get a saw, honey. You get a whipping, I'll get a saw, baby. You get a whipping, I'll get a saw. One good trend pays for 'em all, honey trader, baby mine.
What do you do when the drawdown comes, honey? What do you do when it gets real big, babe? What do you do when it's even bigger? We stick to the plan and pull the trigger, honey trader, baby mine. Well, you get a whipping, I get a saw, honey. You get a whipping, I get a saw, baby. You get a whipping, I get a saw. One good trend pays for 'em all, honey trader, baby mine.
What do we do with a hot news flash, honey? What do we do with a hot news flash, babe? What do we do with a hot news flash? We stash that flash right in the trash, honey trader, baby mine. So you get a whip and I'll get a saw, honey. You get a whip and I'll get a saw, baby. You get a whip and I'll get a saw. One good trend pays for them all, honey trader, baby mine. Good trend pays for them all, honey trader, baby mine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to everyone here. The old whipsaw song is my favorite song. And if you follow every rule in that song, you'll probably be much more successful in your trading. It's worth checking it out. The whipsaw song, you saw the credits on the screen, so you can go and check that out. So welcome to everyone. A lot of folks here already. So it's great to have you. 96 folks in the chat. And that's wonderful. I'm not going to be able to say hello to everyone. I don't think I'll get through all the names, but a few. Rue, Sean, Levant, Jesse. By the way, welcome to all of you who have just been gifted by me free memberships to this channel. If you stay until the end, I'm giving away another free 5 memberships. So make sure you stay to the end. I'm also running a special little video at the end, which I'd like you to watch too. Anyway, so it's Sunday night, lots going on, a big week last week. We've made lots of good trades and lots more coming up, I hope. I think we're at the beginning of what might be an epic bull run across the markets. There are those who disagree with me, who think that we're at the moment of about to collapse. But we're looking at markets like oil, we're looking at gold, we're looking at silver, we're looking at the stock markets, Bitcoin and Forex as well. Not so much Forex, a couple of good plays there, but not many. So yeah, lots to talk about. So welcome to the chat, everyone. Greetings to all of you. Ole, the boring channel, Emil. It's always lovely to see old names and faces, the boring channel. I'm going to have to go through all the greetings, I'm afraid, because if I don't dislike the intro, well, then do not attend Beast Mode Focus. You don't have to watch. You're not forced to be here. The intro is very, very important. And actually, art history, Chris likes it. So you can both chat about the intro between you if you want. Anyway, let's get into some of the charts. I'm going to just switch the view here very quickly and get my face out of the way somewhat and get these charts looking a little bit broader on your screen. So good day, boring channel, after having chastised you there. That was beast mode, didn't like that, but some folks did, so wonderful. Don't like the intro, but like me. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Folks, I want to get into the charts very quickly. Please ask your questions, but before you do that, please like and subscribe. The only way this channel will grow further, obviously, is if more people subscribe, but that's actually not the most important thing. The most important thing is that we provide you with the info that you need and that you want to receive for trading. And all you have to do is actually click the like button. That's all. If you like this content, click the like button, say hello in the chat. That's what YouTube measures any channel's success on for some reason. It's not the number of subscribers. So if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, but you'll miss out on some of the videos. So let's get into it straight away. And I'm going to switch into my charts. And I'm going to start traditionally at the left-hand side and look at currencies. The important reason to look at currencies is because whatever the dollar does affects most of the other markets. So we need to know what the dollar's about to do and what it's up to, what it's been doing. This is the dollar index, the Dixie. It's ticking up rather nicely now. We've got the 200-day moving average just above us here, not very far above, about 1% really, about 100 pips. Below us, we've got a double bottom support looking quite strong. One could argue this could be a bear flag, but also looking at the bigger picture, excuse me, within this broader megaphone pattern, we've broken down through what I've called Dixie Moab, a major breakdown level over the last number of years. We came back into it, retested the 50-day moving average, as you can see there, within the sort of above the Dixie Moab. And then we moved down, made a new low, double bottomed, and we're moving back up. Now, notice that the Dixie Moab, I'm using that word because I like it. It just means mother of all breaks. It's a significant level on the chart. It doesn't mean mother of all bombs or blasts or anything like that. It's just a very, very key level. And it happens to be around the parity level on the dollar index, which is 100, just below 100, or around about 100, actually. I think that this is a megaphone pattern. We have a good chance of reaching the bottom. We've also got a good chance of reaching the top. But seeing as we're down below Dixie Moab, down below the 200-day moving average, and curling down, the 200 is curling down on top of us and into this resistance level, I think we're going to find some resistance up here, somewhere around about 100.4, allowing for a spike up to 101 and 101.8. So that means that we could get 100 or 200 pips further up on the dollar, which would mean 100 or 200 pips further down on the pound, for example, roughly. These are not exact numbers, but roughly 1% down on the pound, a couple of hundred pips, or that's 200 pips, or 1% down, 100 pips. Same on the euro. You can see the euro's broken support, broken out of its channel. Pound's just been weak. Pound's just flopping down. Reminds me of a few years ago when Liz Truss and the new Chancellor of the Exchequer were installed, and the pound dropped down below, almost got down to parity, actually. I want to show you that. It was very scary because I was long on the pound when this happened, and I was very, very lucky to get out of the trade. Very, very lucky. There it is there. And it happened on a Sunday night, my time, actually. It was August 2022. Was it July or August? But thereabouts, maybe July, August, actually. October, no. Hang on, it was this time of the year. Actually, that's why I pointed this out. It was this time of the year in 2022, and the pound crashed through support, and just a massive, massive collapse. Very, very scary, and putting the US pension funds in peril at the same time. So the pounds, luckily, we're at much higher levels now, but it just feels a little bit the same, really. And there's all sorts of talk in the UK about the new chancellor and so on. So yeah, a bit weak there and a bit weak on the euro, having broken down out of the channel. And as we're looking at the dollar, there's the euro's little channel, big sweep down through the support. We've now gone through the top, looking toppish, double top here with a spike high, something like a dark cloud cover candle pattern you'll probably see on the weekly or the monthly chart, and moving down. We've got a little triple bottom here on the day chart. We've broken down through it. So this looks like it's heading down. Could be 100 or 200 pips. We're trading at 1540 now, 1.1540. So we could get down to 1.1340, somewhere around there. And that takes us into this region here at these previous highs and this consolidation zone. So I think, and there's the 50-day moving average on the euro too. This is the week chart, sorry, 50-week moving average. Let's go to the day chart. I don't know what got the week chart on there. There's the day chart. There's the 200. That's where we're aiming for, roughly, maybe slightly below on the euro. So if you've got euro shorts on, you'll be pleased with that. I've also got an Aussie dollar against the US dollar long on. We got long a few days ago. This is also a weekly chart. Don't know why we're on week charts here. So there we got long at the bottom at the 200-day moving average on the bounce back inside what looks like a falling wedge pattern with a big spike low down through the bottom of that, which is very, very nice. We're moving up now, trying to get through the top of the trend line, but rejected from it twice so far. I do like it. We've got a good entry here, so I've got no real risk. This trade is risk-free now, stop at break even. I love the way the 20 period's curling up underneath here on the Aussie. We rejected, I said twice, probably 3 times from the channel top. If we have another go at this, I think we'll break through, get to the top 200 period Bollinger Band, the previous swing high at about 0.67. But my ultimate target for the Australian dollar against the US dollar is at about 0.7. This is 0.69, the green line, resistance there. We've got 0.71, a swing high over there. And that's the sort of region in between those two highs. So around about 0.7, maybe slightly higher on the Aussie. I like this not only because it's a good technical picture, but also because I think the Aussie is being supported by agricultural and metallurgical mineral and other deposits, which are all gone up quite significantly in price. And also commodity prices are beginning to base and bottom, particularly some of the grains. And so that might also boost a little bit of the interest in the Australian dollar. The other one I've got also is because I like the Australian dollar and I don't like the euro. I've just told you why. Even though I think the dollar is moving up, the Aussie is doing a little bit better than the others. So if the euro is going to move up against the dollar and the Aussie is going to move down against the dollar, the US dollar I'm talking about, then the euro Australian dollar should move down. I have a short position on this already. We're being held up by the 200 period moving average here, but we have broken out of the channel. I'm not sure if we've cleared this bottom just yet. We have not. So we've now got a triple bottom, but these candles on this day chart are looking weak. If we can get down through that triple bottom, we can always, we could put a line there. I'm not going to, or let me do it. Why not? Let's put a line there. I'm going to come across to the questions any second now. So let's put a line there right underneath. Why is it so thick? Go to a 2 pixel line, if that's what it means. So break down through that line, 200-day moving average should take us down to the lower 200 period Bollinger Band, wherever that might be at the time. Kind of like that one. Those are the only two currency plays that I've got on that are of any worth. I've got one on that's no good, useless, and hopeless. And I keep on getting trapped on this, and I keep on having contrarian views. This is the US dollar, Japanese yen, and I keep on being proven wrong most of the time. On occasion, I get it very, very right, and when we get these big moves down and perhaps carry trade unwinds, we make a lot of money. But in the meantime, I've got to hedge, unhedge, waiting for that sudden collapse. Probably not the best approach, but it's only one of many plays that I have on, and I trade small amounts on currencies. And I started off trading currencies many years ago, 33 years ago now. I think I took my first trade, and it was probably on the euro against the US dollar on a 5-minute chart, hand drawn with a ruler and a pencil. That's the way I started off trading 33 years ago. So I think this could really just do what I think it's the way I've drawn it here. It's a crowning pattern. We see this often on yen pairs, crowns rather than head and shoulders. And the difference is that head and shoulders have got 3 peaks or tops or pokey up bits on the crown, whereas a real crown has multiple spiky pokey up bits. This is a crown, and I think we'll turn around somewhere in this channel. A crown maybe with a bear flag contained within it, this orange line. So I'm looking for that, but it's not working out so well. But you never know. Japanese are likely to intervene at some stage, not only just them, but also in cahoots with the Americans. And we've also got this problem with the new Japanese prime minister, who's a fiscal dove and is likely to print money, drive inflation higher, and the yen lower as a result. Although she feels that she can do that without doing all of that. She can stimulate the economy, keep inflation in check, and get GDP growing at a gargantuan rate. I don't think it's possible, but we'll see. And it's of course very incestuously tied up with the US bond market too, owning most of the US debt, or the largest portion of it comparatively. So that's that. Now I'm going to go back to the questions quickly. I've finished with currencies, so it's a good time to take a break and see if there's anything coming in on the wires, so to speak. Good day, Martin. Sunday sessions, we're going to be doing a lot more, by the way, Martin and everyone. I'm coming back to ArcisFX, so we'll be doing a lot more videos, not only Sunday videos, but also weekly videos or during the week. Analysis on Bitcoin, MSTR, we're going to get to that, Emil. That's coming up. Thank you, Beast Mode Focus. I love you too. Martin, Ellie. Hello, Ellie. I spoke to you just a few minutes ago. Hussein, nice to see you. And Hans, not Hans, Hun Solo from Germany. MD, still holding Bitcoin and ETH longs. Selling does not make sense, MD. We'll come to that shortly. Swiss yen, I'm not going to look at that. Sorry, Will. But I would suggest that it's probably more likely to be bullish the way things are going. The Swiss francs are, flight into safety type of currency. Also, both very low interest rates. And, there's kind of one against the other. But it's more likely that the Japanese yen is going to be weaker than the Swiss franc. So I haven't even looked at the chart, but I can tell you I wouldn't be probably shorting it, although I am short the dollar Japanese yen, which is a similar sort of play. Yeah, so I should talk to myself. Hello again, Gutcharan. Gutcharan. It's been a long time. It has, but I'm back. Kieran, lovely to see you, mate. Denny, Sunday videos are great. Yeah, and I'll be doing other videos during the week too. So it's not just Sunday. We'll be doing some other stuff as well. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. So that's that. All right, I'm going to move along now and continue to post your comments and questions up, and we'll move along. Now, what's happening on the indices? I'm going to really try and give you my overall view here, and you can look for your own entry points. I'm long on the NASDAQ. You can see my green arrow. We double topped it here with a tweezer top at my blob. That was my target. We've been long for a long time on the NASDAQ. I didn't get long early enough. I didn't get long after the swag breadth thrust kind of confirmed that that's what it was by breaking out of this little mini head and shoulders within the breadth thrust. That was the indication to go long, and that we actually had a Zweig breadth thrust on our hands. And the Zweig breadth thrust is a unique occurrence where we see a very fast 20 to 25% drop by an immediate, followed by an immediate recovery and a subsequent 10 to 20 to 22% rally thereafter. So that's what we're looking at. This is a Zweig breadth thrust, and we should see, once we reach the top of the breakout zone, another 22%. So if we add 22% onto 22,000, I reckon that's about 4,500, and that would take us up to 26.5. Right, and look at what's up here. Not much. Well, actually, there is about 26,000. I think I'm exaggerating. 26,000. And let me zoom that in. Actually, we go to a weekly chart. It'll be easier to see. And if we look at this weekly chart, there's a big red channel that we've been trading in for multiple years. Apart from the one occasion that we dropped through the bottom with that Zweig breadth thrust, we're back inside the channel now, but we're not quite at the channel top. Did we get there? We did get there. We got to the blob where I was targeting. We exited there, and I've bought on the dip back down to this green trend line, hoping for this to continue. It did not continue. It fell back down, giving us a weekly spike high or wick candle. Let's zoom in on that. There's the weekly wick candle from last week. And I'm long actually at the current price. So there's no loss on this trade at the moment. And I think we're going up to here, which is the target set by not only the Zweig breadth thrust, but also the target set by this channel if we were to get back to the top of the channel and the top of the skinny green line. Yeah, so I think we've been forced into an apex. And when we get to that apex at some point, somewhere around here, we will then see a fairly dramatic sell-off, which could take us either all the way back to 22.2 or even the bottom of the Zweig breadth thrust to meet up again with a 200-period moving average. I don't think that's going to happen just yet, although I could be wrong. And there are loads of people who think that this market has now topped and that we're going to see a dramatic crash down and that it's all over except for someone singing. And we know who that is. So I don't agree with that philosophy, though, or that idea or that strategy. And I think we're going to have to get up into the green blob and the top of the green line at around about 20, very close to 27,000. Right, let's go back to the day chart. Let's see where we're currently trading and how we ended off last week. Not great, I have to say, if you're long, but not terrible. You know, rounding off there doesn't mean we can't just suddenly rush off back up again. Look what happened over here on the 25th of September. Pretty similar pattern, tweezer top, engulfing candle, 3 black candles, and then off we go. Okay, we did have a bit of a problem in between after that, but here we go. 3 candles, bearish candles, not quite black. That one's white, but we'll call that a bearish candle. 3 bearish candles down to support where we got long earlier. We may get long again, and then a move up through there would be great. So that's my idea on the NASDAQ, and the same goes for most assets. I think we're in an asset melt-up or bubble, and I think it's created by a whole scenario that's going on now with fiat currency being deliberately shoved out of the way, manipulated out of the way, transferred onto the blockchain, not only currencies, but also stocks. We heard from the SEC or someone, I heard this morning, that most of the stock names or all of the stock names will be traded on the blockchain in a tokenized form going forward. I think currencies like the US dollar and tethered currencies will remain very, very important, and that the US dollar will be funneled into USDT or whatever on the blockchain. And this is the way this is all going. And I think this is going to result in a massive asset melt up, eventually followed by more inflation and currency devaluation. And I think we'll see things like the stock market, particularly the Mag 7 names, chip names. And I'm talking about into the end of the year and maybe not beyond that. Remember, I said we may have a big correction or collapse. But for now, stock names like, the Mag 7, chip names, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and then, we may look at even gold and silver, and we'll come across all that. But my idea generally is that it's a buy the dip season on most things. And I'm buying the dip on stock markets. So I'm long on MSTR, I'm long on Tesla, I'm long on Coinbase, I can't remember, I'm long on NVIDIA, and I'm looking to get long on a few other key Mag 7 names into the next couple of months. We've only got 2 months left until the end of the year. These rallies might have to spill over into the next month, January, because we haven't had what was normally called Uptober. We had a Downtober. So it's going to be an Upvember, December, and maybe January too. I don't know, but that seems like more of a correct sort of timing. I'm going to be looking to stay long on all of these instruments. Let's go across to metals. Now, how will this affect metals? I have a feeling that we could see gold moving all the way back down to 3,500. And I'm going to put this onto a weekly chart for you to have a look at. There's the big triangle in the center of the page that we broke out of, the big consolidation ascending triangle that took so long and created so much uncertainty because it was so long. It took from the 7th of April until the 1st of September to break out of this triangle. And most of that time we've traded in a very, very tight and narrow range until we broke out. I think that we have to get back here and consolidate there to grab more liquidity and move on. Gold is more likely to do this next than it is to move on to new all-time highs. I'm telling you that because I know this from experience. Gold won't keep on going up forever. It will slow down, pull back, consolidate in what seems like an interminably long consolidation period. Let's go to the day chart. But before that happens, I think, and I'm long on gold, you can see I've got 2 green arrows down there. Those are my long entry positions. And I think we're going to have to move all the way up to either the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level or the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement level at the levels of either 4,000, call it 4,300 or 4,220. The reason for that is because I think this move here, all the way up, this massive rally, was largely institutional and central bank-ish. And if that is the case, and perhaps some serious hitters, players, whales, some or many or a fraction of those will be trapped at the top here, looking to get out of some significant or large positions because of the speed and the veracity of the sell-off. Too quick, too difficult to get out. The timing was weird because it was at a strange hour. Liquidity may have been thin, not allowing people to get out of the market and fill their orders. And so I think we may have to get back here. It's more likely we'll get back to the underside of the trend line at the same time, and we could see something like this. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take a while, but something like this up to maybe that one 78.6. That could coincide with the underside of the trend line, and then a move ultimately and eventually down to 3,500. This move might actually sort of mimic the trend line, the underneath of the trend line, and even get a little bit higher, even make a fractionally new higher high, and then move down. It'll all be part of the same pattern. Either we're going to reject the Fibonacci's or the underside of the trend line. Whichever one it is, I think we're going to have to do it and then come down. Hence, I'm long on gold, even though I think gold will be giving up some of its gains to go into other more risky assets as the risk appetite grows. Now, we've had a rate cut. We're probably going to get another one in December. And, who knows what's going to go on. Next year, we may get more rate cuts, and we're going to get a new Federal Reserve governor. And we're going to see all sorts of new stuff coming into view. and affecting all these markets. But let's not get too freakied out about it, and just go with the general game plan. And that's why it's very important to have a game plan. So I'm long on gold and I'm long on silver for the same reason. We've broken on silver down through trend lines number 1 and trend line number 2, but we've reclaimed trend line number 2. We have not reclaimed the 20-period moving average. That's the green line just above us. I think we still have to get back down to lower trend lines and probably all the way back down to $35 at its breakout level, which is where gold broke out at the same time. So gold will come back to 3.5. Silver will come back to 3.5 in terms of tens of dollars, 35, 3.5. Gold back to 3.5. But first, I think they may both have to rally up first. So although I'm long on all the risk assets, I'm also long on the precious metals. And normally I wouldn't be necessarily simultaneously long on all of them together. I've got no position on copper and I have no position on platinum. Platinum's trading within a large megaphone, diddling in the middle, neither here nor there. I don't like trading it anyway. And copper, we were short. Recently, we've traded this exceptionally well. I've actually got every single top and bottom of all of these moves. And I'm not bragging, I'm surprised. I'm not always that accurate or timeous. But on this particular instrument, I got the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom, just stopping, taking profit and reversing on every occasion. We got long at the bottom. I got short at the top here again, where the other red squiggle is, but we dropped down rapidly, but we started moving up. I got out of that trade, taking a small profit on that. So I don't know what's going to happen with copper, but if copper moves down, it will be bad news overall for the industry, for the stock markets, because copper is often a bellwether for the health of the stock market. So always keep an eye on Dr. Copper. All right, so that's all of that. And I think I'm going to get back to some questions now. So it's a good chance for me to take a break and take a breather. Cocoa, we'll talk about cocoa shortly. All right. Yeah, we'll talk about cocoa, Denny, for sure. I appreciate you too, Will. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you for being here. You are the most important person here, all of you, not me. So I appreciate you. Food prices got so high, the fat lady, yeah, the fat lady didn't sing. She died of anorexia. All right. Hello, Learn to Earn. Have a nice week to you as well, dear. Prediction of the highest level of natural gas. I think we could get above $4.75, maybe $5, but we'd need some special event to make that happen. But I think into the mid fours. All right, let's carry on. We'll get to natural gas shortly. Right, now Bitcoin. Someone asked about Bitcoin earlier. What do we think? Now, I'm not going to talk about Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Cardano, Uni, Litecoin, Link, etc., because that is all just going to follow suit at some point at different rates and different whatever to Bitcoin. But as Crypto Paul pointed out very beautifully and very adeptly on Friday, today's Sunday, Friday, that we had to close, and it's as simple as this, really. It's looking precarious, let's be honest. There is plenty of opportunity for us to move lower, and I think there's a chance for us to get down below 100,000 quite easily. I've actually removed all of my lines, diagrams, megaphones, etc., to make the chart cleaner. But we could get lower, and it's not looking particularly strong. But I'm going to, before I zoom in, I want to point out this very broad picture to you. It's pretty simple to understand. We moved up, we formed a double top high there. We moved down, we moved into a new higher level. We held the previous double top over here, the black line at about 107. We held it, although not convincingly. And many, many times we messed around at the same level. But we did double dip it recently, and we're on well, even triple dip it really, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, and we bounced out of there quite nicely. And as Crypto Paul pointed out, and by the way, we do crypto now on this channel, and we have loads of crypto content. And if you've only just sort of come to the channel, or you're coming back to the channel since I've been on a slight hiatus, if you're just coming back or you haven't been here before, we cover crypto as well. And we do live streams. Crypto Paul is part of our team now, I'm very pleased to say. And he also does live streams and regular videos, including altcoin picks. If you're interested in crypto at all, to any extent, if you trade it, if you invest in it, if you have an interest in it, if you're an altcoin maniac, if you're a Bitcoin solid investor, if you're a maximalist or a minimalist, whatever you are, if you're interested in crypto, you must join this channel and come and join us at the private group, because Paul is excellent. And so we cover all of the stuff that I'm covering, and we have a crypto expert with us on our team too. So make sure that even if you don't join our private group, there are links below. And by the way, there's a link below for a free kit for everyone. It's called the Trader Survival Kit. Link below. It's scot-free. Sign up and get it. It's fantastic. Yeah, so that's by the way. So what Crypto Paul was saying is, if we hold the 200-day moving average over the weekend or at the beginning of the weekend, we're safe for now. It's a bit better than it would have been otherwise. That's all it means. It's not safe. It's safe for now. It's safer. We held the 200, but we're slightly below the 20 period. That's this green line above it. The purple line is the 200, but we did close above it on Friday, and we haven't dipped down below it. I'm actually very pleased and quite sort of positive about this weekend, because Saturday and Sunday, that's this last candle, has barely moved. And I don't like it when we get lots of activity on the weekends on crypto, and we get CME gaps that may or may not need to be filled. And we saw that big sell-off last weekend. No one likes it. Everyone's trying to have a weekend break. There are those freakoids, a little bit like me, I suppose, who don't take much of a break over the weekends, but most people do. And when we see all sorts of nonsense going on crypto on the weekends, it's not the best thing. So I'm very pleased with that. And because we've had a quiet weekend, we held the 200, we're still holding it. I think we're okay for now, but I'm still allowing for a dip down below 100. I really hope we don't get that. I'm a Bitcoin maxi myself. I store my wealth in Bitcoin. I trade Bitcoin. I like it a lot. And I don't want it to go down. I want Bitcoin to be strong. I want us to get out of these doldrums now and move on to the next level. Where could those levels be? Well, let's have a look. I'll go back to the weekly chart, and let's zoom up into the zones above us. And I've got loads of arrows. Actually, well, you can see where they are. Pause the video and write them down. I think we're going to get to this middle green arrow before the end of the year. And I'm not the only one who thinks that, but I think there's a chance we could get much higher. Middle green arrow is around about 150K. It's possible we'll stop at about 136. That was my original target, but this period of consolidation has been so long that we're likely to move far higher than not. The longer the consolidation, the harder and faster the breakout. So I think 136 is probably likely, 150 is probably probable, and 180, 75 to 80 possible, but I don't know. We'd have to see a bunch of buying coming in. And because this year's been a little bit sort of for Bitcoin, maybe there's just not the enthusiasm until after Christmas. Sometimes people just need to go away and have a holiday. So all the rest will follow. I think Ethereum looks okay. I mean, we're holding. I added a small tranche onto Ethereum on Friday, a little one, holding that purple line and that breakout level from that previous high. If we zoom into Ethereum, or zoom out rather, you can see the broader picture. It's pretty clear. We've got a big bull flag with a bit of a messy part through the bottom there, and we bounced off the bottom beautifully to the pip. A lot of people got long hair, by the way, on Ethereum. Lots of people got long hair. Some of the the big hitters on YouTube, including me. I'm not a big hitter on YouTube in the crypto world at all, but I did get long. But loads of people got long hair, and that was a good play because that's safe now, and they're all the way up here now. I think this level might hold. I like the weekly spikes above the 20-week moving average. That's looking excellent, but it is still sloping down. We still have lower highs, although last week was a higher high and a lower low. Let's have a look at that on the day chart. Yeah, so a little bit of a spike through the bottom there, making that lower low. But yeah, I think Ethereum looks quite positive. It's a good buying zone, I think, around about where we are. XRP, pretty similar. Below the 200-day moving average here, which is not great, but holding up. Big spike down there with that weekend sell-off. And Solana, that's not looking all that strong. More like a bear flag on top of the 200. Not looking all that strong, but maybe that'll hold. Most of it will depend on Bitcoin. And if we go across the Bitcoin dominance chart, and this is what Paul has been nagging on about forever, and I agree with him, Bitcoin dominance, this purple line is nothing. Moving up, breaking through these averages and moving higher. This has got to move down before we see the altcoins get a wiggle on. But what I do like, and we've been talking about this a long time now, is the Bitcoin gold chart. Let's have a look at this one on the weekly chart. We have a massive rising triangle, ascending triangle. We bounced off the bottom a few weeks ago. And the projected move, if we break out, is equivalent to the approach to the triangle. And if we draw that in, we can set the target for this if it breaks out through the top. And you can see there's a 65% chance of a breakout through the top. This is a measured move, same as that move. That will take us to 219 ounces per Bitcoin, which is roughly $1 million at the current prices. So we have a 65% chance of that occurring. So that's not an insignificant claim, as Ben Gravy, the surfer from Pennsylvania. There's a surfer in Pennsylvania called Ben Gravy, who I watch on YouTube. He surfs what he calls, I don't know, experimental alternative waves. I don't know why we're talking about him. Anyway, so that's that. I think Bitcoin is going to, this triangle is going to work out eventually. It's going to take quite a while. It's going to take years, not days, not weeks, not months, but sometime in the future. US 10-year is ticking up. Of course, it would do. And TLT is ticking down. So yeah, that's all on those pages, I think. If you've got any further questions on Bitcoin, Solana, XRP, Ethereum, any of that stuff, please drop a note in the chat. Now, let's get back to where we were in the chat, and I'll carry on going and get through some more chat. And then Coco, thanks for reminding me. I will get to Coco. J forms. Yeah, Coco, we'll look at that. Let's look at that right away before I forget. Lest we forget, as they say. Let's look at Coco straight away. And it's on this page here. So I don't have a position on Coco. I have a position on coffee, but not Coco. Yeah, I mean, Coco is quite difficult because we've moved down quite far, but we've got a lot further to go, but we are overextended. And it's more likely, I suppose, I don't know. I think we're probably going to have to bounce. This is quite a big move down. We're consolidating. We're not forcing the continuation. And it looks like we may have to get back into the pink zone. There's a compelling reason for that too. And there's a little gap right in the center of it. We gapped over the pink zone downwards. And we were short from over there. We were short from above 10,000. We're out of this trade now. So I think if you're going to short this, and I do like the short idea still, of course, and I think we're going all the way down to my question mark eventually, big zone of control right down at the bottom. This is where it belongs, right? Down at about 2.5. We're still at 6.5, 6.2. So we've got to get down here at some point. And but what's going to happen first? I think we're going to bounce up either to the pink zone or we're going to have to go slightly higher up to the channel top. So pink zone is there, channel top is there. We've got a big point of control there as well, and it's a price magnet. So I think it's more likely we'll get up to 8,300-ish, 8.5, 8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, and then move down. We've also got the channel center line that we're trying to get through, which is slightly above us, which may also form some resistance. But I think eventually we'll get something like this. I think this is a bit too sharp, and we may have to do, it's too steep. But I'm not going to draw that properly now, just for the sake of being a pedant. Actually, I am going to, so I can't help it. So yeah, so let's zoom in. Channel center line, that's this dotted line running down the center. Notice how we gapped over it, how we moved over it, gapped down below it, and gapped above it again. That's absolutely fascinating. We were talking about this in the Ola Prime stream on Friday. Often when there's a very key or important level on the chart, we'll talk about it when we come to natural gas at 375. Key level on the chart. The price often gaps through it, so we don't have to deal with it. It's done it here on the channel center line for cocoa. So yeah, we've gapped down below it, gapped back above it. Looks positive to me. Looks like we might have to get slightly higher, either to the pink zone, and to fill that gap, that would take us to 7.3 or 7.8 if we get to the channel top. That's cocoa. While we're on this page, let's talk about coffee, because I'm short on this one. I don't have a trade on cocoa, and coffee I'm short on. Similar sort of reasons, and I think, okay, ignore the green line. It's not meant to be like that. It's just a rough estimation, something like that. This is a good one as well, and I think this is going to have to move down into its established volume zone at about 180 to 200, and this is where we're trading. I'm short again from that top spike into the 786 fib. We spoke about this in the private group. All of these trades, folks, I place in my private trading group, which you can join, and it's not that expensive. And you can follow every single trade I take, the entries, the adjustments, and the exits, and they're all documented and detailed precisely, the time, the price, the instrument, whatever. It's all there, and loads of chat and discussion and teaching and training and help and community excitement and experience. So we're in this trade in our private group, and this is another whopper. What's the word? Whopper. A whopper means a lie. It's not a lie because this is true. It's documented. It's in the private group. But I don't know the word. A magnificent trade. So far, so good. And I think if we hold on to this and it keeps doing what we're projecting it will do and move further down, this will be ultimately a pretty good trade. So that's coffee. So we talked about coffee and cocoa. And I think the short direction's still correct for both of them. I'm also long on soybeans. I'm going to stick on this page while we're here so we can finish it off. Soybeans, not difficult. We gapped up, broke through the flat top there, and we got long on the dip back down to the flat top. So breakout, pullback, got long, and we moved up. Big deal with China and soya, which has caused this to move up. So you can read about that yourselves, all these things that Trump's doing. Other ones that we're in, corn, long on corn and long on wheat. Wheat's another good one, moving up from that triple bottom, breaking up through the trend line. Also looks like a falling wedge or a descending, it's not a descending triangle, it's a falling wedge. I thought we might have to get a bit lower, but we didn't. We've now broken out through that triangle. Let's hope we can stay above it. We are pulling back we did pull back, not much. Again, another good example of how we gap over key levels on charts. We'll have a look at natural gas shortly. If you've got anything else on softs and grains that you want to talk about, come back to me. Put that up in the chat. I'm going to show you the natural gas gap over the level, and it's over here. This is the natural gas futures chart. Actually, I'm not going to do that right this second. I'll come back to that in a minute. I think I'm going to get to the questions, and then I'm going to finish off with energies right now. If you're interested in natural gas, WTI, uranium, or the or lithium, or the XLE energy ETF, stay tuned. But before I do that, I'm going to just finish off going through some of the questions, and let's see if there's anything that I've missed. All right, yeah, we've flashed that one up already. 3.5. That is a deep. That is a deep dip. Highest level of natural gas. Yeah, we're coming to natural gas now. We'll get to that. I don't use, I do use volume, good Sharon, but I don't leave these things on my chart. I try to keep my charts as clean as possible. You can see I've got volume profiles on the right-hand side of my charts. Those are the volume profiles. And occasionally I have the volume at the bottom as well. Normally, it's not all that necessary really to have volume. I can see the volume in the price action on the candles in any event. I sort of know what the volume looks like by just through experience, but occasionally I do. Particularly with Bitcoin, we've seen very high volume days moving the market very small amounts, and very small volume days moving the market a lot, and that's what I'm kind of interested in. So there we go. Folks, let's carry on getting through these questions, and I'll come back. I hope I'm not sounding too rushed. I think I might be. What do I think about Bitcoin miners? I don't trade the miners, Denny. I trade Bitcoin. I don't trade gold miners. I trade gold. I don't trade silver miners. I trade silver. It's just something that I don't look at. I'm not interested in. So you'll have to get your gold miners or Bitcoin miners info elsewhere. 10% down from the high. Big drop for poor bag holders. Yeah, that's gold you're talking about, I'm sure. Gertrude. Omkar, nice to see you. It's great to see you. Always good to see you. Right, I'm going to go to natural gas now, folks. Let's get rid of that sign, and we'll finish off with this. But do stay tuned until the end, because I'm going to be giving away 5 free memberships, and I've got a little clip to play you at the end, which might give you some more information about what you could expect from the private group. But stay until the end, because you could win a free membership. Don't go anywhere. Just don't do it. Don't go. All right, natural gas. And we'll talk about these other energies as well. So you can see all my green arrows on here. I've been long on natural gas, starting off on the previous contract down at 276. I don't think we've been short. We may have been short actually once over here on the new contract roll. Actually, we did get short there. Let me take you through the plays. So we got long there on this previous contract. I can't remember where we got out of that. And we got long again at the bottom of the previous contract. The next contract gapped up, and we're right at the top here. I got short at the moment the contract opened up. I want to have a look at the Henry Hub chart for you. Maybe I don't. Actually, I'm going to put this on a 4-hour chart. This will help. There we go. So there's the gap. That's the contract rollover there. And there's the gap. Remember I talked about gapping over very key and important levels or numbers on your chart. This big red line in the center is the 375 level, and it's the key level on the NATGAS chart. If you're interested in more of these analyses, you can join me every single day at Ola Prime TV here on YouTube. That's HOLA Prime TV, where I cover natural gas every single day, not just once a week, every single day. So you can join me over there as well, and join us in the private group if you'd like to take the same trades as me. So I got short on the new contract roll over there at the red arrow, and we got out at the bottom at the sort of support level here at 375, the key level. So we gapped over it, didn't have to deal with that then. We came back to it, we dealt with it on the return to it, and we dealt with it by bouncing off it, by buying it. We're long now, and I hedged my long position on Friday, actually on Thursday night, actually, at the top here, at the previous high where we got short. So I've got all the profit from the low at 372, hedged and locked in at $4.09 or whatever it is. I can't remember the exact level. And that's locked in. That profit is locked in now. And no matter what happens, if I take both the long and the short hedge off simultaneously, flatten them in other words, I will have banked the profit from the move from 375 up to 408, about 30 cents, 30 something cents. So that's locked in. That's not going anywhere. That's guaranteed profit. And the only reason I hedge was because we have sometimes inclement weather or very good weather over the weekend. Weather forecasts can change, and we often gap up or gap down over the weekend. You can see going back to Friday, the 17th of October, for example, within the previous contract, how we gapped up over the weekend due to weather forecasts changing. And we're at the weekend now, and I've hedged it ahead of the weekend. That's the last candle on Friday. I think we can move higher. I don't know what's going to happen at the start of play today in a few hours' time. But if we roll over downwards towards the 20-period moving average, I shall seek to add more size to my long position. If we gap higher, I will also seek to add more size to my long position, and I'll also unhedge at the same time and allow this to move up and carry us along with it. If we dip down or gap down over the weekend in a few hours' time, I will seek to buy into the dips. My target, we must go back to the day chart, and the targets are pretty simple. First of all, this previous swing high at 469, we're not too far from there now, we're at 411 already. Can you believe it? Above $4 and 469. And if we manage to get through there, and notice how we've got this, what looks like this move up, bear flag. We've broken through the top of that flag. I was correct. I thought it was a flag right from the start. I wasn't sure. We didn't reach the bottom of the flag, and we bounced up from the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement support. We're now through the flag. That's this green block. Let me make it bigger so that you can see it, or brighter, rather. I'll put some black lines. So there's the flag, the thing that I've just sort of emphasized. We broke out through the top of it. The target for the flag is normally, and I'm not saying this is actually a bull flag and that we will reach the target, but the target is denoted by this black line, which is the projection. It's a duplicate of the flagpole, the approach into that flag. And I've attached it to the bottom. Actually, that's incorrect. I should attach it to where the lowest point before we exited the flag was, and that was over there, that candle there. And so we can now see the technical target for this trade simply based on one simple analysis. It doesn't mean it's going to be accurate. It's a possibility, that's all. That would take us to $6 if we simply have a bull flag. Run up, flag pull, bull flag, exit to target, $6. So I'm not saying we can get that, or we are going to get that, or we are likely to get that, but I think at least we'll get to $4.60. We're heading up there now, and a gap up over the weekend in a few hours' time would be nice to propel us up to that level sooner rather than later, and we'll see how we go. Now, that's natural gas. Please ask if you have any further questions on that. Now, WTI oil, I'm still short on this, and I've got nothing really to say apart from that we're trapped between, and I've been short most of the time for the last number of years. If you've been following my videos, you'll know my story on oil. Generally sell it, or have been for the last period. It's because we're in a downward sloping channel. We've broken down through the crucial, another MOAB, the purple line, the WTI MOAB. I have 3 MOABs on at the moment, one on the dollar, one on WTI, and one on something else. It was crude oil, I think. This is crude oil. I can't remember the other one. I'll think of it just now. Anyway, so we're below MOAB, and we're moving down, and we've rejected off that levels. We've had all sorts of political nonsense going on, and we always do with oil, and so you always get spiky old charts. So that's not abnormal, nothing to be weirded out by. It's a messy old instrument. It's a messy energy source. It's smelly, it's stinky, it's dirty, it's horrible, and so is the chart. But it is tradable, and it's moving down, and we're short from the 50-period moving average on this last rally up. We did actually get, I've been long on WTI now 4 times, probably in the last 4 years, average once a year, but they've actually all occurred in the second part of this year, getting long at the bottom. That means that we're actually approaching lower lows. As soon as I start seeing my trading direction shift somewhat, I'm still short in mind, but I've been buying more frequently than in the past. And that probably means, and I'm making a note to self, because I know myself pretty well, it probably means that we're reaching down towards the bottom, and that my long bias is starting to develop or grow some legs within inside me. So it's interesting to observe my own reaction to the markets and make some inferences from that. So I think we're going to move down below this now triple bottom low eventually. It's going to take some work and effort and bouncing around and messing about and tariff talk and untalk and all the normal stuff. But I think we can get down here, down below $50. I don't know how quickly we can get down there. We're already a bit late because my arrows we should have been there already, or by tomorrow, I think, by the looks of it. So we're a bit late on it. We're moving up. We have been moving up a little bit more than I expected, but we've rejected from that level, and we're stuck now between the 50 and the 20. One of them's got to give. I think the 20's got to give way, being the slightly weaker brother of the 50. So that's oil, and we talked about gas. And the last thing I want to talk about is URA. I don't think we're talking about XLE and lithium because we haven't got time now. But URA, generally my bias on this is long, but I think we've got a fairly significant correction due. It moved up a little bit higher than I thought through the channel top, or the trend line top. But I think now that we're back inside this channel, we've got a good chance of just sort of drifting down. And I'd like to get long again at around about $42, between 42 and the low of this range at about 38. So 36. I'd say 38. So 42 to 38, I'll be looking to buy. And I'm currently short, not with big positions, but enough to make a little bit of money if we do move down. Not a lot, but something. So that's URA. And I think we've talked about softs and grains too. And I'm going to have a look at a few more questions. And then I'm going to play the outro and say goodnight to you all. And please stay. But before I do that, I'm going to give away 5 more free memberships, if I can. 6.1. Oh, there you go, WeVibe. So yeah, okay, fair enough. That's on natural gas. 6.1 is WeVibe's target. And when WeVibe states his target, I normally listen. It's interesting because I think he's got some good ideas. So I think you've got some good ideas. Florian, you closed all your oil shorts on Friday due to a USA. Yeah, so USA Venezuela situation. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm not too sure that this is going to be a big problem or not, but we'll see how things go as we open up. But we may be okay. I don't know. We'll find out. Of course, politics always plays a role in oil. In fact, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe oil plays a role in politics, more likely. Anticipating more downside first on natural gas. Okay, fair enough. All right, folks, that's it. That's all I've got for today. I'm surprised we managed to get through so much, but I'm feeling a little flaggy. I'd like to get back to watching the women's cricket, South Africa against India, World Cup final. And if South Africa wins, it'll be the first cricket trophy South Africa has ever won, which should be fairly momentous. Palantir. Yeah, let's have a look at that very quickly. I'll finish off with Palantir. Let's have a quick look. Let's go back to the stock chart. So yeah, just quickly looking across these names. MSTR, how do we look at MSTR? We had a nice bounce back up on Friday and then drooped back down again. I was hoping we'd clear the green line and hold above it, but we didn't. And Bitcoin just hasn't been very supportive of all this either. But generally, I'm pretty bullish on MSTR. And if we look at this on a longer term chart, we're maybe just forming a bull flag here. I'd allow for this to get back down to the 200 Bollinger Band below us at about 227. And then, maybe this is just a bull flag. This could go a lot higher depending on Bitcoin and how all these treasuries work out. I'm a little skeptical about them overall, but I think they have a chance of doing pretty well. Not only MSTR, but some of the other ones, including the Ethereum treasuries. Tesla looks good. Looks like it's about to swoop up. We've been long a lot on Tesla recently, particularly at the bottom of this, I suppose, triangle. We also got long at the bottom at this triple bottom over here. We got long over there, and I'm long again now, midway through this consolidation period zone. Let's look. This is Coinbase. I'm going to get back to coin, but I'm going to put the Palantir chart up. Coinbase, pretty similar. This is the pick, the shovel, the bucket, the vault for the gold miners, the popcorn, no, not popcorn, the saloon down the road full of honky tonk pianos and buxom women and beer and gin, selling all that stuff. And then there's the people selling the barrows and the spades, and there's people selling all the other stuff. And that's kind of what Coinbase. And there's the bank vault down the road where all the gold is stored. Coinbase is involved, is that sort of thing too. So utilitarian play on Bitcoin and the other cryptos, and it all depends on what goes on there too. But these are just good names. I think they're going to be okay. Now, Nvidia is another one. By the way, all these earnings have come out. Not all of them. MSTR, Coinbase earnings came out, and Nvidia is about to come out in a few days' time. Yeah, so I'm going to just use the Coinbase chart here to have a look at Palantir. And let's have a quick look at the stock before we go. And then I'll give away some memberships shortly in 2 minutes from now, and then we'll play the outro. So Palantir just, keeps moving up. What can you say? I guess if you put a stochastic RSI, MACD, any of those oscillators on here, you'll find that in the bigger picture is very, very overbought, but these can be overbought for years. We've broken out through this breakout level. Let's put a black line across there. That's the first thing that I noticed, pretty key level. Massive dip down from that level, and then a rally after a flat top with a spike down below it. Always like that. Flat bottom rather. Sideways, flat bottom with a spike. Most beautiful pattern. And then the move up. A few gaps left along the way, but they may or may not be filled. But we've got two recent gaps just over here and the 20-period moving average. And look how far we are away from the others. So the black line could actually be a good place to look at buying Palantir. And I think it's going to go up still. If everything else keeps going up, this will go up too. Allow for a pullback, not just to the black line, but probably to that flat top over there, and maybe the 20 or even the 50-period moving average and these lows. That would be the best place to buy at the 50. But by the time we get there, the 50 will have curled up to slightly higher. So we'll be looking at around about 180 would be good. 170 would be even better. But we'll probably just bounce off about 185, 86, 87, and then move up. So more likely something like that. We could close that third gap, actually, a second gap rather. That's possible, and then move up from there. I don't know. Alternatively, this is just going to keep on moving up and keep on going up. But having said that, when you look at the NASDAQ and the S&P, there's still opportunity for these to move down and fill their gaps. And I think they're probably going to have to try. There's a big gap down here on the NASDAQ, down below the trend line. Maybe we've got to clean that out now. And there's also a big gap on the S&P. We have not closed this one completely, but we gave it a go. We got halfway down through that gap. So unresolved gapping there on the S&P, unresolved gapping on the NASDAQ. So, you know, if those fill the gaps, maybe that'll give NVIDIA a chance to fill its gap as well and get down to those levels. And then Palantir as well. Maybe that'll give us a chance to fill maybe both of these gaps on Palantir and then bounce out of the moving average cluster. Yeah, so I think that looks okay. Now, I'm going to give away some memberships right this second if I can. So stay on. I think you can only do 5 a day. So here we go, folks. Here comes some free memberships to this YouTube channel. When it expires in a month's time, please make sure to renew it. It's only like $1 or $2 or $3 at the most, I think. So well done to Chris, Learn to Earn, Klaus, Stefan, and Yen Emoticon. All received free memberships to the channel. So welcome, guys. It's great to have you as members. But when the month is over, please make sure to renew and support the channel. It would be really cool. Do a tit for tat. I gave you 1 month. You give us the next month. I think that's fair. I'm going to play the outro now, folks. And it's been great having all of you. It's always nice to be back with my favorite crowd, the ArcisFX crowd. I've got 2 favorite crowds now. I've got another favorite crowd at Olive Prime TV. But, you know, this is my home. So thank you so much. Yeah, it's great to see you, Ray. Great to see you. Right, folks. I'm super stoked. I'm going to play you the outro. I'll see you during the week, not next Sunday, but I will be doing some content during the week for you. Stay tuned for that. And if you don't want to miss it, make sure to just subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and click the notification bell. Every time I do a video, you'll be notified. Take care, everyone. I'm going to play the outro. Have a good day. Hi there, I'm James. I'm the founder of ArcisFX. I'd like to personally invite you to join our 24/7 trading group. This is built for traders who want an edge. Inside, you'll get access to live calls on Forex, commodities, crypto, energies, and metals, along with exclusive daily analysis designed to unlock your trading potential. And this in both traditional and now in digital markets. I'm talking Bitcoin, crypto, altcoins, and tethered currencies. You'll gain early access to insider news, real-time updates, real-time support, and premium educational content. If you want to sharpen your skills and boost your success rate, then join me and Paul in this community. This is a fast-growing community of traders who are now writing their own success stories. So don't wait. Join up now. Your edge starts right here.